Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is Eisenherz and today we're going to look at the top 5 best cards for cEDH from the new Universes Beyond Final Fantasy set and its supplementary commander decks. As always, cards are in alphabetical order, and at the end there will be some honorable mentions. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Louis Zoix's Sacrifice. This 1 CMC counterspell is a combination of Stifle and Negate for only 1 mana. Unfortunately, you also have to sacrifice a legendary creature or pay an additional 2 mana to cast it. But in decks like Rock Thrasios, this additional cost is basically irrelevant because you know Rock is a broken commander that should be banned and spend the rest of its days in Mordor. Anyway, usually Stifle effects are way too reactive and narrow to see significant play except for some control-centric lists, but this is very playable in a lot of decks with cheap commanders that aren't crucial to the game plan, like Rock, Yoshimaru or Yuriko. The additional casting cost is kind of similar to Flare of Denial or Flare of Duplication, but this just adds another layer of cheap and efficient interaction. Sadly, it does cost 1 mana, and as I said before, the difference between 1 mana and 0 mana interaction is infinitely big. So this might not be an outright staple, but a playable Stifle effect that's not as narrow, can be very cheap to cast, and used to both stop opponents from winning and protect your own win attempts. Number 2. The artist formerly known as Noctis Prince of Lucas. This 4-mana Esper commander is a 3/4 with lifelink that allows you to kind of escape artifacts from your graveyard by paying an additional 3 life. Unfortunately though, all of these artifacts enter with a finality counter which kind of balances this ability, so you can't just make infinite mana and infinite storm easily with something like Lotus Petal or Lion's Eye Diamond. However, there is a really cool and fairly easy way to break this card. First, you need a way to regain the life you pay to cast your artifacts from the graveyard. This can be very easily done with Aetherflux Reservoir. And additionally, you need a way to loop any artifact, and this can be done in multiple different ways. Number 1, use Mox Diamond because it never even enters the battlefield if you don't discard a land card while casting it, so it doesn't get a finality counter. Number 2, use any 0-drop artifact like Lotus Petal or Mox Opal, plus any way to counter it like Vexing Bowl or Shells of the Void. Number 3, use any 0-drop artifact that can go to the graveyard like Lotus Petal or Lion's Eye Diamond, plus Solemnity, so that you don't have to put a finality counter on those artifacts. This combo will give you infinite storm, infinite life, potentially even infinite mana, and definitely a way to deal 50 damage to each player with Aetherflux Reservoir. And interestingly, both Intuition and Gifts Ungiven become 1-card combos in this deck because your commander is a recursion piece. So definitely a powerful commander with a great color identity and some nice artifact synergies. Number 3, Pellet Town. This land will very likely become a cEDH staple going forward. Another rainbow pain land that can also produce colorless mana is incredibly powerful. This is basically a mix of Spire of Industry, Tarnished Citadel and Mana Confluence. The downside of entering tapped after turn 3 is absolutely negligible because at that point you either have enough other lands in hand to play, enough other mana sources to handle a single tapped land drop, or the game is already over because, as we all know, cEDH is broken as fuck and 3 turns is already more than half of most cEDH games. Definitely get a copy of this one if you play any 3+ color decks. Number 4. Terra, Mean Girl, Apex. This is a very cool commander because it is a 5-color flip commander that is a saga creature on the back with 4 chapter abilities, 3 of which allow you to copy an enchantment until the end of your turn. Is this in any kind of way relevant? Not really, because the fun side is the front side. That's what she said. So Terra costs 3 and on ETB allows you to mill 5 cards and return an enchantment milled this way back to your hand. So if you can't recall, enchantments are probably the most broken card type in cEDH. Rhystic Study and Mystic Remora, Necropotence and Necrodominance, Rhystic Study, Smothering Tithe, Animate That, Rhystic Study, Underworld Breach and of course Rhystic Study. All of these see a bit of play in a handful of cEDH decks, and with Wooburg color identity it is very easy to shift this commander into tons of directions. Most notably, you can just grab the food chain, infinitely recast your commander, mill your whole deck, grab Underworld Breach or Animate That and put the Oracle into play to GG the game. Nice! Number 5. Veay the Ornithopter. Well, this just shows that people over at Wizards are absolute creeps. Veay is probably the most broken Izzet commander ever and a very close contender to being as busted as Nadu. So Veay allows you to activate it for 0 mana once a turn to get mana equal to its power, but it also gets +1/+1 counters every time you cast a non-creature spell, and it also shoots all of your opponents for 1 damage every time you cast a non-creature spell. Yes, you heard that right, it gets freaking +1/+1 counters, not +1/+1 until end of turn. And it shoots damage, so it is also an outlet for storm turns. Slapping a curiosity effect onto Veay allows you to draw 3 cards every time you cast a non-creature spell. Shoot damage to an opponent, buff your commander, and eventually you get the mana back, and even more mana every single turn. Oh, and with Displacer Kitten you can flicker Veay to reset it, rebuff it, deal damage again, and make mana again. Very broken. Keep an eye out for this thing. And that's my top 5 for this incredibly cool Universes Beyond set. But of course there are also some honorable mentions to take a look at. I really love some of these cards like Franz Kafka the Clown or Y Shatola the Catwoman. So I don't know about you, but personally I really like what Wizards created here. Cool mechanics, some really powerful cards, and of course some great classic Final Fantasy artworks for all cEDH and Final Fantasy aficionados. So what is your top 5? Do you think I missed something? Please let me know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching my videos, make sure to like, share, comment and of course subscribe to my channel. This is Eisenherz and auf Wiedersehen!